Chapter 89. Next stop? Summary. Now that they're part of the guild, what kind of assignment should they take on first? Izuku was once again impressed by the quality of the guild's cooking. They were no kachan, but the alien cuisine tended to be new and interesting, and their post-mission meal was no exception. So Izuku savored the odd loofah-looking vegetable in front of him. After this, they'd be back on the proverbial road, already having stayed in one place too long for most of their likings.
So, Swackle said, mouthful of food, how do you dudes like your share of the reward? Cash or credits?
Share? Ochako asked, intrigued.
Yeah,
Kole says. You didn't expect us not to pay you for the mission, right?
It was an exam, though, Izuku points out. You guys could have done that on your own. We were just there for you to evaluate us.
You did most of the work, Kole replies. Doesn't matter, we could have done it. You guys were still there and contributed.
Oh,
Izuku helpfully responds. He hadn't expected pirates to be so fair, generous. They didn't get paid for things like internships back at UA, so he hadn't thought an exam would be any different. Then again, they were in space, and these were space pirates, so he really should stop thinking things were anything like back on Earth. In that case, we'll take credits, Ochako says with a smile. Yay! Baby money! Mei cheers.
Sound-dampening shoes? Here we come!
Zenki choruses. I'll get your account set up in our systems while I connect you to all the streams and databases being part of the guild gets you, Sunyu informs, standing up from the table they were sitting around. Well, they take care of the boring stuff, Kole grins. Moyue and I can help you pick out your first solo job. All right, Mina exclaims, bouncing in place. Are there any limits on the jobs we can take right away?
Not really, Moyue replies. You probably have the reputation to take on most high-profile cases like the one we were just on. Jobs like those mean the one requesting services can deny your help if they don't think you're good enough. Ones that the guild sets or local governments put out are free for all.
Kole leans in the chair, snatching a tablet from a table by the wall before sitting back upright. Now, let's see what there is nearby, she enthuses. Izuku, like the others, leans in to see what appears on the screen. It's a sort of map, stretching out from their location. Planets, stars, and all sorts of celestial bodies are displayed, alongside little dots of color. Kole taps on the closest dot, a yellow one. Great. More colors to remember the meaning of. Text unfurls on the screen as the map fades away. All manner of information is displayed, like what system it's located in, the local jurisdiction type, the planet, in this case a gas giant. The list goes on. Kole says. Seems like a weapons smuggling ship is suspected to be hiding out in this planet. Moyue swipes up, moving the text. The nearby inhabited planet was the one to issue the request. They've had an increase in armed gang activity lately, and suspect that the ship is how the weapons are being supplied. It's only a few hours away! Kole almost sing-songs. Before Izuku has a chance to think over the information, Kachan cuts in.
No, we just got off a job and it's time we got back on our way. It's not like we need the money to restock so soon after our stay here. If we're going to look for something, it'd have to be further on our route.
Kole pouts a bit, but closes out the offer. Any direction in particular you're headed? Well, shoot. They can't just say Terra. Technically they could, but Izuku didn't think that was the best idea. Sure, the news of their species was spreading, but space didn't explicitly need to know they were heading back to their planet. That'd make them too easy to track. Thankfully, Ochako, their navigation expert, spoke up before someone else had the chance to blurt out something stupid. Though Kachan's bone-chilling glare at Kaminari and Mina might have had something to do with that. We're headed towards the Andromeda Galaxy.
That's quite far away, you know, Moyue pointed out.
Believe me,
We know. Katsuki scowled. With a shrug, Kole inspected the star map before swiping up in a distinct direction. Okay, these should be a bit less than a week away from here, she said as her swiping came to a stop. That area isn't as populated, so there won't be as many requests, Molue observed. But it also means the jobs there don't tend to be as urgent and can easily wait a week while you get down there, Kole responded. Space is big, and while there are lots of criminals, there aren't as many pirates. A lot of jobs sit there for months before being looked at. And wasn't that a sad thought? But Izuku tried to not let the depressing mists drift in, because they were here to help now. Izuku had learned at a young age that heroes couldn't save everyone, and he'd been working to accept that when he started becoming one of those heroes, he couldn't save everyone either. Space had helped that journey by curb-stomping his heart when they'd had to leave all those people behind on their trafficker's ship. Still, with every job they passed up, something about it not working with their natural restrictions they were under. Izuku's heart squeezed a little tighter. The next dot they look at is red, a little over a week's away. It's on a small planet in the Goldilocks zone of a red dwarf star system. Despite the planet's size, its high density causes it to have gravity slightly higher than that of Earth. It's quite an out-of-the-way system, in one of the many stretches of an uninhabited space. And on that planet is a Trellin base. Molue reads, "You probably don't want to take this one. It's a very small way-stop station for the largest sentient trafficking group in the universe. Plus, the gravity on this planet is really high. Sentients not evolved for that gravity would have a hard time." Before Kole can click off the tab, Mei snatches the tablet from her hands and inspects the information closely. Kole trails. "What are you doing?" Mei ignores the woman's question, instead looking at Izuku and the others. "Whoever scouted this out got pictures of the base from the air. It's small, without any external defense systems. The biggest resistance they should have at their disposal is the sentience used to the gravity. It's more of a gas station than a criminal headquarters." "So what you're saying is we could take them," Kachan says with a wicked grin. "Hell yeah!" Mina cheers. "Let's kick some ass." "I think we should go for it." Izuku agrees. And he does. If Mei thinks they can handle it, he doesn't see a reason not to. To take their first step at crushing the Trellin until there's nothing left. "Whoa now," Kole interjects. "I know you're skilled, but you might not want to make an enemy of someone like the Trellin so soon. And while it may not seem like much, higher gravity than you're used to can be a real problem." Despite the fact that Kole was discouraging them, Izuku couldn't help but smile. It was comforting to know that they found people who actually cared about their well-being. "It's fine. Our home planet actually has a similar gravity, and we set our ship's generator to mimic it not too long ago." "That high?" Molue says in disbelief. "Is that weird?" Mei questions. "Because that would explain why the systems were screaming a lot when I first tried to change it. They calmed down eventually, but it took a lot of clicking the 'yes, I want this' option." "That still doesn't mean you want the Trellin after you," Kole says in slight exasperation. "Oh, don't worry." Kachan chuckles darkly. "That ship sailed a long time ago." "Won't be the first time I've threatened those lymph noodle motherfuckers with grievous bodily harm," Ochako says, mirroring Kachan's tone, only with an unsettlingly sweet lilt. The two seasoned space pirates just stare at them with... Izuku doesn't even know how to describe the looks on their faces. "It's part of our tragic backstory, TM. Don't worry about it," Denki adds helpfully. At that, Molue seems to remember something, perhaps one of the many stories about them floating around, as her face morphs into grim understanding. "Oh, if that's the case, I think this is a great first job. Make 'em weep, all right?" "You can count on us," Izuku smiles.